good afternoon. Happy Sunday here in New York City. And we're trying to make up for one of our last live streams where we tried to ride the New York City Ferry. So here we are. It's probably gonna be a little noisy at first. We are at the East 90th stop on the Upper East Side. Probably a little hard to see it right this second, but we're right by Gracie Mansion, which is where New York City's mayor lives. And this is the Astoria route. So bear with us as we get moving. Paul, Sebastian, thanks everybody for being with us.
Next stop will be Astoria.
There we go. So we're leaving East 90th right now on the Astoria route, New York City Ferry. Astoria is the next stop. We'll be moving momentarily. The Hellgate and the RFK Bridge. Yeah, it's pretty nice, Paul. I see Paul, Sebastian, RJ. Good to see everybody. If you want to hit exclamation point weather, it'll give us the current conditions. Pretty cool day. I'm a little surprised by how many people are up top with me, but I guess it's sunny enough. So where the camera's pointing right now is where we're headed next, Astoria. And we're leaving the Upper East Side. RJ, they just raised it. So it used to be the same price as the New York City subway, which was $2.75, but they just raised it to $4. There's a variety of discounts. I think you can buy multiple passes for a discount, and there's some folks who are eligible for lower pricing, but it's $4. New York City boat right there must be part of the Department of Transportation or something. Big one. And obviously, since we are on a boat in the middle of the East River, if we have any buffering or other things, just tell folks to, do me a favor, tell folks to be patient with us. Hey Sue K, all the way to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Good to see you. Beautiful skies here, albeit pretty cold right now. I think it's going up to like 40 today, but it might still be in the 30s. This morning was the New York City Half Marathon, and I think when a lot of folks started that, it must have been in the mid-20s. It must have been brutally cold for a run. Like I said, we're heading to Astoria next. Now on our right is Roosevelt Island. We did a walk on Roosevelt Island not too long ago. That, of course, the Roosevelt Island Lighthouse. Peter's here. Good to see you. So that we're going to be making a turn. That's the next ferry stop that we're headed to, the Astoria ferry stop. Again, this is the New York City Ferry, one of my favorite ways of getting around the city. And you'll see why. We're going to hopefully stay on this till Wall Street, Pier 11. So we should get some pretty incredible views from all around the city. See the geese flying by. And I'll show you guys where we started. The Upper East Side of Manhattan. Beautiful blue skies today. Nice clouds. So right in the foreground is Roosevelt Island, and then behind that is Manhattan. Again, kind of the Upper East Side, kind of in the middle of the frame would be the East 80s. And we're stopping here to let folks off and pick folks up. This is Astoria, and you can see on the playground right in front of us some beautiful cherry blossoms coming in. Gorgeous. Purple blossoms, just like the ones in Central Park. I brought my gloves because when you're up top and the boat's really moving, it does get awfully cold, so I may need to put my gloves on at some point. Of course, you can go down below, stay warm, and they even have a snack bar where you can get some food or even an adult beverage. Marie's here, John Bader, good to see everybody. Thanks for hopping on with us. So they're just letting the gangway settle. Some folks may get off here, but I think it'll mostly be people getting on the boat.
Astoria.
There's a few folks getting off. I was curious how busy the boat would be today, because it is pretty cold, but it's such a nice looking day and the sun is out, so there are more people than I thought. I thought we might have the top of the boat all to ourselves, but there's a few folks up here with me. Brenda Freeland, Technogirl, if you could put the exclamation point in the front of weather, that should get it. Good to see all of our friends. We have tried to recover from our 5-hour marathon coverage of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We had a really fun day. It was fun to be with everybody. It was fun to celebrate the parade. We got to meet some of our fellow YouTube friends. We got to see Seafot from New York City Walking Show. We got to see Fernando, super friends, and we even got to meet somebody we hadn't had the chance to meet in person yet, Al from Live Walking NYC, so that was really fun. There we go. Temperature 38 degrees Fahrenheit, 12 mile per hour. 12 mile per hour winds. That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm gonna have to put some gloves on my hands at some point. And they just announced the next stop, Roosevelt Island. I'm pointing the camera right now so you guys can see the Roosevelt Island lighthouse. Well, the ferry stop on Roosevelt Island is about halfway down, so we will get to go underneath the Queensboro Bridge. And again, we'll have some really incredible sights along the way. Deborah just joined. We are at the Astoria stop, headed to Roosevelt Island next. We're on the Astoria route today. There's two routes that go to East 90th Street, which is where we started. Astoria and Soundview. The Astoria route's a little longer. Unless I have that backwards. Baby brain. Did not get enough sleep last night. So we're heading to Roosevelt Island next. And we're going to take this south, assuming all goes according to plan, all the way to Wall Street, Pier 11. Look at all those birds in the water. Away we go. Blossoms are coming out. Beautiful. Look at the park over here. Dorg Rock, good to see you. Terry, thanks everybody for hopping on. Super windy. When the boat is moving is really blowing, so really fighting the gimbal today. So I'm pointing the camera now at Roosevelt Island. Again, you can see some of the beautiful blossoms are already starting to come in. The city's looking so great right now. Super cold today, but the signs of spring still making their way out. All right, we are gloved on one hand. Stylish Bunny, good to see you. And if we get some bumpy footage today, it's just really windy right now. So this is Roosevelt Island. If you've ever wanted to explore Roosevelt Island, we did a live walk not too long ago. It's really fun over there, and there's a great tram ride you can take. John Burke asked me, do they sell coffee on the ferry? That's a good question. They might sell, I don't know that they sell hot coffee, but they might have, you know, kind of those jars of like Starbucks coffee or something. Coming up to the Queensboro Bridge, otherwise known as 59th Street or Ed Koch Bridge. The wind, unreal. Roosevelt Island, if you look at those super tall buildings, you can see some of the towers of Billionaires Row in the distance, including 432 Park Avenue. Jerry, good to see you. So we're about to stop here at the Roosevelt Island ferry stop, nearly underneath the Queensboro Bridge. And let's see if we can find the Roosevelt Island tram. You can see the cables of it in the middle, but I don't see the tram car at the moment. A lot of folks are taking the ferry today. But what I'm noticing is folks join me up here, and then the first wind gusts come and they head downstairs. Just too cold. Ramona, good to see everybody. Thanks for hanging on out with us today. Our last, before the, I don't know, it was like 3 streams ago, we tried to do the New York City ferry and the timing just didn't work out. So beautiful day despite the wind. Here we are. Lots of people lined up. Let me show you guys the bridge. Donna, good to see you. Thanks for being on with us. Tropical Days tried to take the ferry. The wind was too strong, yeah. It's pretty wild today. So I'm not personally a huge fan of walking the Queensboro Bridge because the path for walkers is shared with bikes, and it's like really, to me, it's a little too narrow, and I find it a little anxiety inducing. But if you do walk it, you get off down there,
Roosevelt Island.
And if you want to come to Roosevelt Island, you walk along this beautiful park. My preference, though, is to take the tram to Roosevelt Island, which gets these incredible views. All right, while we're waiting for folks to get on, I'm going to try to put on my other glove because it is so cold today. Okay, let's see if I can do this without dropping everything. Just bear with me a moment. Let's see.
Next stop will be Long Island City.
All right, we are fully gloved. Much more comfortable, much more comfortable. Next stop, Long Island City, so we should get a nice view of the Pepsi Cola sign, along with more of Roosevelt Island and Manhattan. Hopefully you guys don't get too seasick. Brenda, that's a good question. I don't know at what amount of wind they ever stop the tram. If anybody wants to check Google for that. I assume it can go pretty high, but that's a great question. I don't know the answer. Pointing the camera south, you can see in the far distance One World Trade Center. Denise, good to see you. And there's the MetLife building and One Vanderbilt. United Nations headquarters, and I can see the top of the Chrysler building. There we go, there's that wind. I have to stand in a particular way so that the wind doesn't fight the gimbal too bad. just launched the phone into my face. We're doing great. There's one Vanderbilt. I see the Chrysler Building. I see the Empire State Building, United Nations headquarters, and then here on Roosevelt Island, the Smallpox Hospital and the Four Freedoms Park. And there is Christian and S. Fields with the answer. The tram can operate in all conditions except for lightning and winds over 50 miles an hour. So that's a good question. I don't know what the gusts are today. I don't think they're 50, but they feel pretty strong. And there is our Pepsi Cola sign. So when we leave Long Island City, let me switch sides so we can get a good view of the Pepsi Cola sign. And my beautiful wife Lisa just joined. So this is Long Island City. It's really fun over here. We've done a bunch of videos from right over in this area. I'm thinking of fireworks and Manhattan Henge. We've done a few videos. Photos from around New York. Good to see you. And Caleb Jones. Caleb is the name of our kiddo. Asking, what's our favorite neighborhood? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a very good question. I really like the village, West Village in particular. I don't know that I have a favorite though.
This is Long Island City.
So when the boat really starts moving, I was trying to keep the wind is kind of coming at us, so I was trying to keep the phone sideways so that the wind would kind of go right past it. I was unsuccessful last time. We may actually have to get off at some point just because if that keeps happening, it's just getting a little annoying. Windier than I expected, but hopefully we can try to take this all the way to Wall Street. How do we like Tribeca? We love Tribeca. We did a little the other day. I was walking around to do some recorded videos, so not live streams, and I did a bunch of I took a bunch of pictures in Tribeca. Tribeca's beautiful. And so if you check out our Instagram, you can see some of the pictures I took from around Tribeca. Well, Lisa, it's going to get even better when we start moving. We're going to get right. We should get a really.
East 34th Street.
All right, we're headed to 34th Street next, but we should get a really nice shot of the Pepsi Cola sign in just a moment. Beautiful day here in New York City. And away we go. And to give you a sense, so we start at 90th Street. We're kind of in the high 40s now, and we're going to 34th Street next. 34th Street stop. You can see the Copper building up ahead. And let me hop over to the other side. Show you guys the Chrysler building, Tudor City, UN headquarters. So lots of stuff that we saw recently. And usually the turn works out just right so that we can see the Empire State Building any moment now. Yeah, when we get moving, the wind is crazy. If anybody joined our snow walk recently, this is one of the parts of the greenway we were walking along. All right, point the camera. We should get the Empire State Building. How perfect was that? There we go. Isn't that awesome how it gets framed by the buildings over here? And I'm starting to see the buds come in on the trees over here. Gorgeous day. A lot of folks getting off here at 34th Street. Trying to see, trying to get a sense of how many folks are about to get on. Lily, good to see you. If I missed anybody, hello, welcome. Oh, and you can see the top of One Vanderbilt right over there. Photos was mentioning the new segment of the Greenway. I'm trying to see if I can point out where that is. Right over there. Oh, and Caleb asked about the observation decks. Yeah, my wife is answering in the chat. The Edge. Actually, I think the highest one. So the highest one we've been to is One World Trade Center, but the highest outdoor one we've been to is the Edge, yeah. But there's a bunch I haven't been to yet. For example, I haven't been to the one at One Vanderbilt just yet. My wife can absolutely answer on our behalf. The Edge is awesome.
Next stop, Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Headed to Brooklyn next. Brooklyn Navy Yard, next stop. The edge is really awesome. It has a section that is clear glass that you can stand on top and look down, I don't know, like 100 floors. Away we go. Rob Price, thank you. Good to see you. To the Brooklyn Navy Yard. When we're moving, the wind is unbelievably cold. Coming up to, if we're looking at Manhattan, coming up to Alphabet City. Midtown skyline. Got Waterside Plaza, Peter Cooper Village, Stuyvesant Town. Much wind, lost the gimbal. Williamsburg Bridge. There's the Domino Sugar Factory. Coming to the Brooklyn Navy Yard next. And yeah, there's lots of new high-end apartments all around here. Absolutely love doing this, but I would definitely advise maybe pick a less windy afternoon. Save yourself the cold. And you can see there's one of the big ferry docks over here where the boats go to rest. I guess we'll have to wait till I get off. I can't find the name of our boat. All of the New York City ferry boats have funny names, and if you go on Wikipedia and look up the New York City Ferry, they have a list of the funny names of all the boats. British Grey, good to see you. Doing a little afternoon boat ride. Freezing our hands off, but really love. Let me head onto the other side so I can show you guys some more sights. Let me go to the bottom of the boat for a sec. Show you the Manhattan Bridge, and in the far distance the Brooklyn Bridge, and of course One World Trade Center. docking here at Brooklyn Navy Yard. Head back upstairs. Looking like it's taking more effort than normal to dock the boat today because of all the wind. Really cool building over here at the Navy Yard. Against the beautiful sky today. Next and last stop, Wall Street. Deborah says, I think that's the building with Russ and Daughters, bagels, locks, etc. Oh, I didn't know they had a location at the Navy Yard. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've been to this area before, but not for a while. And there's a whole, I forget which building it is. Maybe it's the brick building. Kind of right there, but I know there's a big building that's got a sort of food hall. But again, it's been a while since I've been over here. Have to visit again one day. All right, away we go. Wall Street next. British Grey was asking for us to go to Wall Street one of these days, so away we go. It's going to get really noisy, but we're going to go underneath the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges. And we're going to get some really good skyline views of Lower Manhattan as we go. Photo says, yeah, I'll have to visit again one of these days. I know there's a lot going on over there. There's been a ton of development, as you can see. Obviously still a lot of industrial stuff, but all these new residential, and there's like a WeWork and all sorts of all the hip new things. Ooh, and from Deborah, a massively generous $25 super chat. Thanks for the boat ride. Hey, it's our pleasure. I've been meaning to do this live. We've done a couple of night boat rides, if you check some of our older live streams, and I have a bunch of recordings, but I've been wanting to, we haven't done this in a little bit, so I've been really itching to get on the water with you guys. But Deborah, thank you 25 times over for the very generous super chat. Appreciate you. Ramona says, riding the New York City Ferry, same views as the Circle Line, but for only $4. It's one of the best deals in New York City. they gotten in a lot of political trouble because it used to be $275 and the rides cost the city, I forget what it is, it's something closer to $10, so they've been losing a ton of money on this. But it's the best way to see the city. It's really one of my favorite activities. I can't recommend it enough. I used to tell people, for $20, what you would do is you get 2 tickets, and then when you get on the boat, you get a couple of beers. And like today, we're going from East 90th to Wall Street. It's like an hour ride. It's amazing. It's an amazing deal. And they bumped up the price to $4, but it's a great deal. It's a really great deal. So I highly recommend it. You may want to choose a warmer day. It's awfully windy, because I think part of the joy is being up top, but it is awfully windy today, I will tell you that. So right in front of us, the Williamsburg Bridge. We're heading south to Wall Street next, where we'll see the Manhattan Bridge and the Brooklyn Bridge. British Gray is in Florida, Tampa, Florida, I think. All right, we're making the turn. There's the Manhattan Bridge with One World Trade Center in the background. I can see the Jenga building. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm sorry I'm not able to turn the camera as much as I'd like to. The wind is the wind is stronger than the gimbal today. But let's start to head. We're gonna get off here at Wall Street. It's the last stop anyways. Sabrina Fair, good to see you. Hello from the New York City Ferry. There's Pier 17. Along with the new tin building. Waiver Tree. And over on this side is Brooklyn, Dumbo, and Brooklyn Bridge Park. Ooh, if it weren't for the wind. I forget exactly, but each ferry ticket is good for about 90 minutes. So you can actually get off here, and provided the next connection is quick enough, you can usually hop onto another boat, but it is too windy for that today. So we're going to get off here and then explore a little bit of Lower Manhattan together. Even with the gloves on, that wind, I'm so cold. I figured it would be cold, but way stronger wind than I expected. Brr. So we'll be docking here at Wall Street shortly. And then I think we will walk Wall Street, and we'll explore a little bit of Lower Manhattan. So the New York City Ferry, I was saying, is probably one of my favorite ways to get around the city. The views are totally spectacular. It's $4. Down here, you can also pick up the Governor's Island Ferry. Governor's Island, pretty fun to visit. And you can also get the Staten Island Ferry. All right, let's head out. Show you guys the snack bar for a second. You can see they have a bunch of beers on tap.
This is Wall Street, Pier 11, last stop. Everyone must disembark the vessel. Wall Street, Pier 11, this is the final, last stop.
Oh, they do have coffee. And if you're inside the boat, they do have power outlets. Wall Street Pier 11 is one of the big, probably the biggest ferry connection point. And if you change here, you can go to Rockaway, which is probably my favorite route. I think Rockaway is my favorite route. It's the longest boat ride. It's beautiful out in Rockaway. Thank you.
Welcome.
And when you come back into the city on the Rockaway route, if you time it right around sunset, you get some really special views. And in particular, if you get it just right, you can get kind of sunset on the boat and then the lights of Lower Manhattan turning on at night. It's really cool. And again, all of that for $4. All right, we're gonna get off here. This is Wall Street Pier 11. And let's go walk Wall Street. They've got all their salt for the icy days. trying to find a sign so I can just quickly show you guys all the different routes, but if you go to ferry.nyc if you want to read about it. So here we go. East River, Rockaway, South Brooklyn, Astoria, Soundview. And I'll show you guys, we did the Astoria route. We could have taken the Soundview route, but the Astoria route's longer and a little more fun in my view. Well, let's head into the city now. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Try not to get hit by any bikes. Nobody coming either direction, so we're going to head to Wall Street. This was a British Grey request the other day to walk Wall Street. Sounds good to us. Ooh, and I'm still warming up, so give me a few minutes. My hands are just freezing. Urgh. Kyle saying South Street, marvelous place to hang out. Yeah, no, we love the South Street Seaport. This is Wall Street. Brr. Coming up to Front Street, and for Kyle, you can make a right here, and it'll take you right over to the South Street Seaport. There's a Gregory's Coffee. And this is Mannahatta Park, giving name to the city and the borough now. Roberto, good to see you. Rinaldi. So it's going up to 40 today, so it's not, the temperature's not too bad. It was just the wind on the boat. It really got me. Oof. But we are warming up. We're in the process of warming up. Coming up to Water Street. So over the years, the city did landfill certain parts of Lower Manhattan. Pearl Street next. And if you ever look at a map, Lower Manhattan, similarly to the West Village, does not align to the grid system. So it's very easy to get turned around. So just showing you right here, Pearl Street. And some of the various older streets of Lower Manhattan. It's a total maze. RJ hitting that like button for us. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Joe and the Juice on the left. My wife loves Joe and the Juice. I'll just show you some of the design work on these buildings. Gorgeous. There's lots of Lots and lots of history and beautiful architecture down here. It's been a long time since we've done a walk down here, I think. Trying to think when the last time was. And a $2 super chat from a friend, Kyle Williams. Love your shows, Bagels. Hey, thanks for being with us. Thanks for enjoying the shows. And thanks especially the $2 super chat. Thank you for that. We appreciate you. Lots of buildings in New York have public plazas. You can run in there to warm up if you need to. That one's kind of funny. It has some palm trees inside. 30 degrees outside, palm trees on the inside. The Wall Street subway station for the 2 and the 3 train. And as we walk forward, starting to see the beautiful Trinity Church. The glass is looking gorgeous today. Maria's enjoying this. Never been to New York, but enjoying it virtually. Hey, thanks for doing a little virtual travel with us. Again, some incredible architecture down here at Tiffany & Co. Again, shout out to British Grey for the idea of walking Wall Street. It's been a while since we've done this. On the right, Monet's Garden. So that must be one of those new virtual experiences. My wife and I did one of the Van Gogh ones. We had a really good time at that. Federal Hall. Stupid story about Federal Hall. The scaffolding that you see here, they're saying may be up for like 10 years. Something absurd. I really hope that's not totally true. Federal Hall is a free museum. You can just hop inside. And it looks like they have an exhibit about women in the face of history. But that's pretty interesting. This is Broad Street, which of course brings us to the New York Stock Exchange. And if we're at the New York Stock Exchange, that means we are close to Fearless Girl. Funny story about Fearless Girl. She used to be opposite the Charging Bull, which we'll see in a little bit. But the artist behind the Charging Bull got upset about this, so they moved her right here so that she's staring down the New York Stock Exchange. The stock exchange, by the way, had one of the best Christmas trees in New York City. Check out our Instagram if you want to see some pictures of that. There's Federal Hall. Let me show you guys Trinity Church. And as we walk there, I'm going to show you guys New Street, which, thanks to our friend Dutch Maz, if you're not following Dutch Maz, make sure you search him out. Follow Dutch Maz, licensed New York City tour guide, and a true New York City character. So this street has been closed for as long as I can remember. And at a certain point, I just figured it was closed for security reasons. But he showed me the other day that it was open again. You can't enter here, but a little farther south you can enter New Street now. It had scaffolding forever. Like, I can't even, it's so hysterical how long the scaffolding was up, but you can see they've opened New Street. Coming up, beautiful Trinity Church. We're at the corner of Wall Street and Broadway. Oh, is the Mighty Bull here? Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to head over to Charging Bull next. Trinity Church also has a cemetery far, far, far uptown. And if you ever go to the World Trade Center, you'd see St. Paul's Chapel not too far away. There's one of my favorite buildings, the Woolworth Building. But these are maybe some of the sites we'll see in a little bit. We're just going to wander around today. Explore a little bit of Lower Manhattan. But first, let's make a left. Let's head over to the Charging Bull and the Battery. Gosh, it's a just gorgeous day. American Express. Asking, are we going to go to the World Trade Center or the Oculus? A good question. We might. I did post a recorded video from the World Trade Center not too long ago. So let's see how we're feeling today. Let's see how we're feeling in a little while. So we made a left at Trinity Church. We're walking south along Broadway now. And you'll see from Trinity to Charging Bull, it's just a few minutes. This is the Canyon of Heroes, by the way, where they would have done ticker tape parades. And you can watch the numbers go down. There's 45, 39. At the end, of course, will be number 1 Broadway. But first we're going to go stop and say hello to Charging Bull. And I'm always curious, do you prefer to take a picture at the front of the bull or the back of the bowl. We'll see which line is longer today. Marie asking, are we near Rockefeller Center? We are not near Rockefeller Center. We are very far from Rockefeller Center. Here we are. Ooh, and it's I think the back of the bowl's line is longer today. Let me try to get some different angles for us. And according to Stylish Funny, the 7,100-pound bronze sculpture, 11 feet tall, 16 feet long, depicts a bull, the symbol of financial optimism and prosperity. Thank you, Stylish Bunny. So let me show you what people in the front are doing. And then let me show you what the people in the back are doing. Oh my gosh. It cracks me up every time. Every time. Cracks me up every time. And as I said, I think today the line for the back of the bowl a good deal longer than the front. This, by the way, the Cunard Line building, cruise ships, Cipriani at the bottom. This is Bowling Green. Wonderful park. I've sat here, had lunch many times. Really peaceful little park that comes from our revolutionary days. Behind it, the old Customs House, which is now the National Museum of the American Indian. And there actually are there's still some government facilities in there. If anybody here does global entry, I think that's where you do your interview. But let me read this plaque for you guys really quick, just so you can get a sense of the history here. Bowling Green, the first public park to be established in New York, March 12, 1733. The first public park here in New York City. Impressive custom house. Let me try to take my glove off so I can move the chat around a little bit. John Bader, Nellie, Mrs. T, Kyle, cool aunt, Cammie, Marie, good to see everybody on Earth. If I missed you, I apologize, but it's good to have everybody hanging on out with us today. Marco asking, where is the St. Patrick Church? We just got a question about Rockefeller Center. It's right near there. But there is a second St. Patrick, the old St. Patrick, near Little Italy. This is number 1 Broadway, by the way. Number 1 Broadway. Whew. Let me show you guys the plaque over here. Joining this site was the first Dutch fort on Manhattan Island, known as Fort New Amsterdam. The first house was erected here before 1664. In 1771, Captain Archibald Kennedy built here his residence, which was used in 1776 by General Washington as his headquarters. Number 1 Broadway. Again, so much of this dates back to the Revolutionary days. And a 5 Gettysburg man, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Down in the Battery and go take a quick look at, since we're down here, we have to go see the Statue of Liberty. They're doing a ton of construction down here, so we'll have to see how close we can get to the exact waterfront, but hopefully there's a good spot we can get to. The Battery, some of the original defenses down here. Yes, Fields, what an address, number 1 Broadway. I know, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Talk about a lot of people are out with us today. Tons of people wandering around. And apologies if we have a buffer. Just bear with us because we'll keep moving and we'll get past it. G's saying it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. And one piece of advice you probably heard, there's lots of people who down here will try to sell you stuff, including tickets to the Statue of Liberty. What you want to do is walk right here to get official tickets and not get taken advantage of. This is Castle Clinton, and this is operated by the Park Service. And even Clinton are people who will try to sell you things, but what you want to do is go here. And your official ticket booths right there. Right there. Of course, the even better thing to do is probably to pre-order them online, because they do sell out. They do sell out.
Windows 315 over there, 325. Last boat leaves 330.
Other thing is, there's very, very, very intense security to get to the Statue of Liberty, especially if you're going to go inside. So just be prepared for all that. You can see all these fences. They've been doing lots of construction and repair work. But let's try to find a good spot where we can see the Statue of Liberty. Let me see how close we can get. Gosh, this blue sky. Loving it. Okay, so what's the smartest thing? Okay, there's a shorter fence. Let's go there. Let's head over to the shorter fence. Lady Liberty. Beautiful. Never gets old. So we are down at the Battery. This is the southern tip of Manhattan. To my left, that's where you could pick up the Staten Island Ferry. Right over here is... And we got a ton of requests to head over to the World Trade Center. So we're coming to the end of our battery life, so we'll head over there. I don't know how long we'll have while we're over there, but that's where we'll head next. When we get closer to the World Trade Center, I'm going to get quieter because it is a memorial and it's a place where I get very contemplative. So we'll get a little quieter. We'll just have a peaceful visit, pay our respects. The immigrants, really moving piece of art over here. There is a plaque down here with Emma Lazarus's poem, but the last time we tried to visit, we discovered that it was stuck behind a bunch of the fences over there. So hopefully one of these days they will finish whatever construction work that they're doing so that we can experience this the way it was really intended to. But the problem with the poem is I don't know that that's construction, but it might be some of the security barricades that they have up for whatever reason. So I don't know that we're ever going to get a good view of that again. Kind of a little annoying. But let's head north now from the Battery towards the World Trade Center. Show you quickly this sign. So this is what's going on. Battery Coastal Resilience. So they're doing all sorts of work to raise, literally raise Lower Manhattan due to rising waters and more floods. Coming up to West Street. And there we go. Oh, that's funny. The woman up ahead of us has one of those, a Statue of Liberty crown. For those keeping track at home, that parking garage, the monthly rate for cars, $463. I always get a kick out of the price of parking in New York City. Coming up to Morris Street. Show you One World Trade while we wait for the light to change. Some really beautiful skies. Beautiful blue sky today. So we should get some really spectacular views. Kyle says, "Yikes, I'm done with parking. I get on my e-bike and I'm gone." Gonna hurry up and try to get across because the folks are not. All right, 2/3 of the way. 2/3 of the way across. If you were to hang a left here, right there, you can see Brookfield Place. And this takes you to Battery Park City. Yikes. That guy's gone the wrong direction. Oh, yikes. That was not safe. Not safe at all. But we're going to keep going straight, and we are almost to World Trade Center. Light is changing. Here we go. so you can take some of those pedestrian overpasses to get safely across West Street. S. Field's asking, are we getting excited about Caleb's first spring in New York City? Yes. I forget. I don't know if you were on S. Fields. I was on Dutch's channel, and I was saying, took the kiddo for a walk in Central Park because some of the cherry blossoms are out, but he slept the whole time. So he missed all the cherry blossoms, the beautiful blossoms. So we'll have to try again another day. Put that kiddo in the stroller, he falls right asleep these days. And mom and dad will take that. They will take the break. AC saying some very impatient people at that intersection. I think in general, I don't think it's very controversial to say that drivers have gotten like really impatient. And I had to have words this morning with a taxi driver who reversed into an active crosswalk and a bike lane and seemed perplexed why I was upset about this. Oh well. Be safe out there, everybody. Passing Carlisle Street now. Once we pass this sky bridge right there, we will be at the memorial. So again, we're going to get a little quieter as we get closer to the memorial. We're going to visit the memorial pools of the two towers. Pay our respects. We will see Survivor Tree. I'll call some of this out as we do it. But we'll all have a moment to be able to think, contemplate, and pay our respects however you'd like. And then depending, I'm kind of running out of battery now. If we have enough, we may go upstairs. This is Liberty Park, which itself is very beautiful and also has some nice views. So I have a feeling that we may not have enough battery life for that. So we may actually just end up near the Oculus. We'll see. We'll see in a little while. Which brings us to the memorial. Windy, I can see the waters coming. Wipe the lens every now and then. Somebody asked, did somebody throw something in? I didn't see anything, but I hope not. That would be terrible. This is a memorial. So we will hope people will behave as they pay their respects. The white roses are left by the memorial for people's birthdays. If you see other things, like up ahead, a yellow flower, those are typically left by individuals or organizations. On my right is the museum, which is one of the most powerful and upsetting museums I've ever been to. And I've mentioned it on other visits here before. But the difference between that museum and others is this was such a recent event. You know, so they don't just have the history or photographs, they have video, they have audio, they have voicemail messages. I mean, it's just deeply personal and powerful. So I know a lot of people really struggle being in there. It's really tough, really, really, really tough. Before we go to the North Tower pool, let's stop and visit Survivor Tree. Pear tree that was found in the rubble. Workers realized it was still alive. It was nursed back to health by the Parks Department. And as you can see, looking around, it's still early, but it's going to be among the first trees here to blossom in spring. But the story of Survivor Tree is really powerful. Let me stand back so we can get a view of it. Oh, there's a squirrel in Survivor Tree. So let's visit. We'll walk by the museum and then we'll visit the North Tower Pool. Continue paying our respects. I have a longer video from here from just about a week ago. So if you want to see more from the area, including Liberty Park, which we will not get to today, feel free to check that out. Yes, Fields is starting to come in. Starting. I personally find the task of figuring out how to create a memorial like this really hard to contemplate, and I think what they came to with the memorial pools is so powerful and respectful.
They're going también. Well, there's probably a place that tells you.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Tres veces del Guayaquil.
Like this like that.
Thierry, hello. S. Field says, I love going there when I have to contemplate things. Instantly puts things into perspective. Yes, I agree.
Y hoy no iba a trabajar, pero como libro los pies.
There's also a section here, 1993 bombing.
Oh, that's yeah. I think it's more like a Parsi though.
That's where we work at the office in Midtown. He had to go with
And thank you everybody for sharing your stories and your memories. Kyle, thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, it's time to go.
I 22 years. Again, if you are interested in visiting the museum, you'd enter here and get tickets. It's really, really, really powerful. This is one of the newer buildings, Perelman Performing Arts Center, so they will do arts and events down here. Kind of glows at night. It's really pretty. This is the Oculus. Next to the Oculus is the graffiti wall. Which is a nice touch of color in an otherwise pretty difficult area. Again, everybody's sharing their personal stories. Thank you. We're all with you. St. Paul's Chapel, the little chapel that stood.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to do one more driver picture.
This takes you back to Broadway if you were to go straight. Let me take advantage of the light while I'm here. If you were to make a left at Broadway, it would take you to City Hall, the Woolworth building, which is one of my favorite skyscrapers in New York City, and the Brooklyn Bridge. We're making a right. So we're again heading south. This is Church Street, which takes you back to Trinity Church. But we'll head over to Zuccotti Park. We'll see some of the sights at Zuccotti, and it's at this point where my battery life is coming to the very end. Does anybody remember Century 21? So we're going to end somewhere over near Zuccotti Park. But I'm glad we got to have a nice visit at the memorial. Again, if you want more time at the memorial, including Liberty Park, which really is beautiful, I have a video of it from the last week. And I thought for a little bit we might even do the Brooklyn Bridge today. I have a sunset video from the Brooklyn Bridge not too long ago. So feel free to check out some of our other videos if you'd like. If you like exploring New York with us. But let's head over to Zuccotti Park and see the sights as we wrap things up. On our right is an eataly, which is a really terrific Italian market. They have restaurants and a little grocery. Not super cheap, but really fun. Ooh, the wind is back and it is super strong. We have our microphone cover on, but I'm curious to listen to this later and see how much of the wind you guys could hear. I think on the boat it was inescapable. Zuccotti Park, the Rose. It's really beautiful down here. Show you guys this art. Taking Stock, curated by Tom Kotick. Manny Explorers is here. Good to see you. Everybody go check out Manny Explorers. Wonderful New York City YouTuber and vlogger who goes to some really interesting areas. So I really do hope you check out Manny Explorers. Thanks for being with us. We're coming to the end here on my stream. I am running out of juice. But in honor of another YouTuber, our good friend Dutch Moz, we would be remiss if we did not say hello to Double Check. And in Dutch's honor, leave a pat on the head Double Check by Seward Johnson, the everyman businessman presence in Liberty Park, who before had faded into the background amongst his human brethren, has been called the survivor. He was lifted, battered, yet whole from the dust and rubble after September 11th. The parks have since been rebuilt, and this bronze man sits near his original site, bearing scratches and bruises he sustained that day as a poignant reminder of hope and endurance for us all. Double Check. Let's see, 6% battery. Let me see if I can end with one of my favorite pieces of art. Nobody coming, so let me hop across really quick. Let me see if I can rush over really quickly. Well, first of all, I love this. And I love this. And this would be really fun to see at night because you can see it has spotlights in it. But let's run down Cedar Street. And let's see if we can, there it is. It will start coming into frame more and more. This is an outdoor sculpture called Group of Four Trees. And it's one of my favorite sites in Lower Manhattan. It always, if it ever catches my eye out of the corner on any street down here, it always stops me in my tracks. And I have to visit it. I feel compelled to visit it. So I'll start signing off because the battery's going to deplete momentarily. But to everybody, thanks for hanging on out with us today. So we started all the way at the Upper East Side of Manhattan. We took the New York City Ferry down to Wall Street. We walked to Wall Street, visited New York Stock Exchange, Trinity Church with a battery. We saw the Statue of Liberty. We just came from the World Trade Center memorials. And we are ending here under one of my favorite sites in all of Manhattan, the Group of Four Trees. Marie, Wolfgang, Esfield, Ramona, Kyle. AC, Manny, Stylish Bunny, British Grey. British Grey helped inspire some of our walks today. Cool Aunt. Sierra, Cami G, John Bader, and many, many, many hundreds of other folks I know who came and went throughout the day today. Brenda, Amanda. Oh, Amanda, Dutch is doing great. It's just one of the sites he makes a particular effort to visit when he's down here, so I wanted to do so as well in his honor as one of our good friends. But thanks for everybody for hanging on out with us today. We had a really good time. I'll try to add some chapters later, make it easier to get around so you can go on the ferry, or if you just want to head to Wall Street or whatever, try to make that a little easier for you. But signing off from Lower Manhattan, loved hanging out with everybody. We had a blast, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.